You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast with your host, Safan. Transmission will commence momentarily.
How you doing, guys? This is the Highly Evolved Podcast. I'm your host, Safan. You can find me on Twitter and gab.ai. Alright, this is a very special episode. I'm just doing a random episode at nighttime just to see how it is. What I want to talk about right now is about frequency. Alright, when I talk about frequency, I'm not talking about radio frequency like us on your radio right now, your AM, FM radio. What I'm talking about is landline frequency, different type of frequency. See, the thing is, the world revolves around frequency, right? This whole planet we're in right now is based on frequency, right? There's this one important frequency that people don't know about, is that the planet Saturn emit a certain kind of frequency when it comes to our lives, our everyday lives. See, what the ring of Saturn is, what people don't know is that NASA recorded the sound of Saturn, right? When they record the sound of Saturn, it emits this kind of frequency. So in theory, they said that the dish, the Saturn ring, act like a radio dish. You know how a CD, when you look in the CD, the print of the CD is like, when you look in the with a microscope, you can see like dots and pixels to tell what kind of tune or data the laser are picking up. Or for another example, if you look at a vinyl record, right? When you look at it with a microscope, you can see there's like squiggly line on the vinyl, and that vinyl will tell the needle what sound to play on the gramophone. Same goes with the ring of Saturn, right? They said that the ring of Saturn was one of the planets. Like how Saturn ring was formed is it's not planet, it's one of the moon, right? One of the moon, they destroy it and then it just revolve around it. It reverts, and that's just a theory that I stumbled upon. But there's another one that it was created on purpose to emit a frequency. When you look at a Saturn polar caps, is a what shape is it? What geometric shape? It's a pentagon. Not pentagon. Pentagon is 5 square. Hexagon, right? Hexagon. A third dimensional hexagon is, what is it? It's a square, right? Everything revolve around the square, right? In this world, everything revolves around the square. It's geometrics, right? Either the square, the hexagon, or any shape like that, right? Mainly it's a square. You can see when you look at mainstream media, right? There's a lot of symbolism of square, right? Square soft, Squarespace, what else? Madison Square Garden, the Kaaba, what else? The square on the Jewish, when rabbi pray, they put the square on their heads. You start picking up this connections. Like, why is it squares? And not only square, is a black square, right? And for instance, it's not in just TV. It's also in like electronics too. Look at the Sega Saturn, the Nintendo GameCube, right? One of the color that the Nintendo GameCube offers is the color black, right? And they sell this attachment called the Game Boy player that you buy it and you put underneath it, and it turns the Nintendo GameCube into a actual cube, and it's black, right? I don't see any other color besides that, so there's a correlation with it. It's all satanic worshiping, right? It all goes to the Babylonian mystery school. You don't know what the Babylonian, I mentioned this before, the Babylonian mystery school is a school about Babylonian history. Who is it? Anunnakis, the Sumerians, Babylons, Nimrods. All right, you can see it's everywhere right now these days. But once you start picking up this code, you start to wake up and start to see all these symbolism. Not a lot of people are willing to search for these information. But once you do search for this information, and you turn on the TV, right? When you have this knowledge in your head, you turn on the TV, and then you start seeing all this information. Like, wow, it's really out there. You start picking it up. You start seeing that the whole world's not what it seemed to be, right? The whole world's not what it seemed to be. You start picking up all these symbolism. You start to learn new symbolism, and then you start to decode. Not only decode, you start to connect dots, right? Once you connect dots, you'll open your eyes will begin to open even more and 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 more, right? And then that's what happened to me when I stumbled upon this. I mean, I wasn't usually like this, right? I was same as everybody else, asleep, not knowing the information that was presented, that everything, I should have known this in the movie. You know what movie I should have known this when I picked up? The Da Vinci Code. Because the Da Vinci Code, when you watch the Da Vinci Code, it tells you right there, not only the Da Vinci Code, National Treasure, the movie with Nicolas Cage, all right? It tells you, but people, I was still asleep during that time. I thought I was like, it's a joke, but when you start picking things apart, you start to realize, your mind started to open, and you see all these connections, start connecting dots. Like, wow, wait a minute, wow, this is amazing, and you start seeing that everything was connected to this one thing: Saturn worshiping. When you look at all the religion, besides the religion of Christianity, all the religion practice some kind of multiple god polytheism, right? Which also referring to paganism. Paganism is a belief in more than one god. And then when you narrow it down to these religions, it's stemmed from the Hindu religion. All these religion is paganism, all stemmed from Hindu religion, because Hindu religion is the oldest known practicing religion right now on this planet. Hinduism. So when you narrow it down, you start to seeing, wow, all these figures, like I said this before, the Star of David, the swastika, the what's that? What's that one shape? Forgot what it was. It's the one where Metatron cube, right? Metatron cube is all stemmed from Hinduism, right? And it's based on multiple gods. And then when you look at the Greek gods, it's multiple gods as well. Roman gods, multiple gods as well, right? You start adding up, right? And then when you look it up even further, you start to see, for example, when I start looking up the solar system was named after Greek gods, right? Except for a few. I think they stopped after Apollo or something. Wait, after Earth or something like that, right? So all the planets named after Greek gods. And then when you look at Saturn, the Greek god of Saturn is Kronos. Kronos is the god of time, right? Kronos is the god of time. So basically, everybody that's living right now on the physical realm is living in borrowed time, right? I'm living in borrowed time. Somebody you know live in borrowed time. You live in a borrowed time, right? So basically, Kronos, aka Saturn, aka Luciferian, have this much power over you in the physical realm. In the physical realm that we're living in right now. All right? And another thing that I learned is that, what is it? You know how the term Father, Heavenly Father, and Mother Earth comes about, right? It comes about Gaia, Greek mythology, Gaia. Gaia is also known as Mother Earth, and her husband was Uranus. Uranus is known as the god of the sky, right? And then when they mate, right? When they mate, they had the son named Kronos. Kronos later on, wait, let me reverse back. They have a son named Kronos, right? And then later on, Uranus and Gaia have a dispute. They don't get along, so Uranus leave Gaia, right? And then later on, Gaia persuade Kronos to go kill his father, right? Kronos went to kill his father and and castrate him, right? Not his balls, but his phallic, right? Phallic. So is this, so that all these religion, they have these dispute between father, son, and mother, father, son, and mother, father, son, and mother, right? Osiris, Isis, and Horus, or whatever it is, Semiramis, Cush, and Nimrod, all that stuff, right? It's all related when you look at it, all right? But anyway, but anyway, going back to the term, how did Father, Heavenly Sky, and Mother Earth came from? It was from the Greek gods. Heavenly Sky, Heavenly Father, the Father who impregnate the mother, right? Uranus impregnate Gaia by his rain. Rain come from the sky, which is from the heaven, right? And then it land on Gaia, which is Mother Earth, and then that's why it starts. You see things growing, like the trees growing. That's his seed. He's planting his seed on Mother Earth, and whatever's growing is his offspring. That's what it is. That's where the term comes from. Another thing that I learned. What is it? I should write this. I'm doing this on top of my head right now. What's another thing that I learned? Jesus, there's a lot of information that I consume so much by learning these kind of subjects. I think I want to talk about Saturn. Right, Saturn, Kronos. Same goes for Lucifer, right? And Kronos have his kid, which are known as what is it? I don't know. You gotta look for this up. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, you see all these things connected, right? It connected from Greek gods. Right? Once you learn this thing, everything starts to make sense, right? You start to know what's this and what's that. How is this? Why is things like this? Why is things like that? All this connection of, right? So I'm still in learning. I'm not a professional, but I'm still learning. I'm in the process of learning. I'm still enlightened. Still try to learn more hidden occult knowledge. But I'm in the same process as everyone else out there who's still learning, who's still picking this thing up. But when you learn these stuff, you start picking up a lot of things that most stuff are very Luciferian, on mainstream media. You start seeing, why they have that Time's Up, right? Time's Up. They were all black, right? At the Golden Globe, they had this Time's Up movement, and then to show a sign of solidarity, they were all black. You know why they were all black, right? Because black is the color of Saturn, right? And they use Time's Up. Get it? Time's Up, black, Saturn, Kronos. It all adds up. It all adds up when you start thinking about this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you learn about this, you start seeing what's projected in the media, then you start connecting, oh, these people are Luciferian, these people are evil as heck, right? And they don't want you to know about this knowledge. It's hard to, you gotta read a lot of books to get this knowledge. I'm still learning. I'm not a professional at this yet. So I'm like anyone else. I'm still absorbing information as I go around, and once I absorb it, I share with people. That's the purpose of this channel, to expose the occult knowledge, to be enlightened, to be aware of what you're exposing yourself to. But basically, the corruption within politics, right, society, mainstream media. That's why I'm so adamant against the Democratic Party, because the people don't know, right? But the Democrats are very satanic in nature. They're very evil in nature, right? They're against God. They want to say they're religious, right? They're not. They're just talking out of their butt, right? But if you're a Democrat, I'm sorry, but you're affiliated with the wrong party. But you need to reevaluate and relook at how the Democrat was formed, and the name Democrat sounds demonic as in itself, But I'm not bashing on the Republican. I'm not saying I'm a Republican as well. I'm an independent. But I would not identify myself as Democratic because they believe in all these crazy stuff, killing babies, choices. No, there's only one choice. I believe. So the thing is, I believe in the Most High, right? I believe there's a God out there that tells us what to do. We all have a deep connection with God within ourselves, right? There's no mention of you have to go to church to believe in God, right? There's no such thing as church. The concept of church comes from the Freemason, the British, right? The church, Circes, right? Circes is a Greek god that talk a lot and captivate people and trap them in. That's what the name church come from, right? Jordan Maxwell explained this as well. If you listen to one of his teaching, he explained how the word church come about, right? Jesus never advocated any churches, right? The church was never mentioned in the Bible. So who to say we gotta go to church to believe in the Most High? No, it doesn't work like that. All right. So I believe there's the Most High. I mean, I'm not an atheist. I believe there's some kind of transition after we decease. But I digress on that. But I want to come back to why I'm not a Democrat, because they're evil. I mean, they believe in you're supposed to believe in God. You don't have a choice. All right. God tell you to go out there to multiply, right? Reap what you have and multiply. But if you're going to abort your children, how are you supposed to multiply, right? And you're saying you have a choice. No, you don't have a choice. All right. You're basically killing something. Right? There's option out there. Like if you don't want a kid, just give it up for adoption. There's a lot of people out there who want to adopt a kid, but you're denying people the right to live. You know, I mean, who to say you won't have a miscarriages? That part I understand. If the baby won't survive when you give birth, I understand that. That's part of nature. That's survival of the fittest. But just to kill the baby, and plus when you have an abortion, right? When you have abortion, your system won't work the same. So you have say for instance you have an abortion right now, right? You have an abortion right now, and later on you decide to have a kid. Well, what if the doctor did so much damage to your system, you won't be able to have kids. You're permanently sterile. And I heard a lot of women out there who aborted their children and they can't have baby, and they regret it for ever doing it because they want children later on in their life. See, it's not good to abort your children, your baby. All right, I don't believe in abortion. I don't advocate it. You know, I believe the man should have a say in it too because it's his possession as well. It's his sperm. If you don't want it, just give it to the man, right? The man was willing to take it. If nobody wants to take it, you can put up for adoption, right? When you give it to a man, the woman don't pay for child support. She could just relinquish the child. There's no need to kill anything. There's option out there for not killing. All right? That's what it is, killing. And now we're talking about infanticide in most states right now. It's like ridiculous. In New York, they want to kill kids, right? Oh, my God. That's ridiculous. That's basically murder. Like a kid, once out the womb, it's alive, right? And now they want to make it stop breathing. I don't want to say killing because it sounds awful, but that's ridiculous. All right. But back to what I was saying about Satan worshiping. This world revolve around that. There's a lot of hidden message. When you learn all these stuff, you start seeing all the satanic meanings. All right. Everywhere you go, you start seeing the pyramid. All right, the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, the eagles. The double-headed eagles, meaning it's the Freemason, right? Number 33, you start seeing numbers, right? The world around we live in revolve around numbers. All right. Numbers just add up. You start seeing the same number, synchronicity, unexplained things, like something that is right under your nose and you don't realize it. Not a lot of people realize it at all. right? Numbers goes in with words. Try learn etymology. Etymology. When you learn etymology, you learn how where words originated from. Right. Once you learn how words are originated, you can see how it connected, right? And not just words; it have multiple meanings of words, right? Like different, like laws. Laws use a lot of word that uncommonly used. Words that's connected to Latin, Greek, and all that stuff, right? And back to what I was saying about Kronos, cutting his father penis off. Why do you think there's so many penis symbolism out there, right? Osiris, I think Osiris cut his penis off or something. In Egyptian, right? The Washington Monument in Washington D.C. That symbolism is symbolized as a phallic sign, right? A phallic sign in the Vesica Pisces. When you see the Washington Monument and there's the sidewalks around it, the sidewalks is in the shape of a Vesica Pisces or like a Venn diagram. If you don't know what Vesica Pisces is, think of a Venn diagram. In the middle is like the thing. It's like the vag, the women's vag. That's what it is. All sex coats. It's all sex, but right, and the Angkor Wat in Cambodia, right? It's they say it's a temple for Hinduism. Is really is a temple for fertility, right? They had a big phallic sign and water goes stream right through it. This is what there's water. There's a moat circling around the temple, right? The story is that it was a monument designed to help with fertilizing the soil. That's why there's this when you go into this room, there's this, I don't know, this rock, right, that symbolizes a penis and the water goes around it. That's why I heard, right? But correct me on that. If I'm not pretty sure, but leave your comment on there if you know where it is. But most of these monuments, most of these monolithic statues, is basically symbolizing sex, right? Sex, fertility, harvesting, sun worshipping, all that, all in one. You just look into it, and you'll see it. It'll either relate to sun worshipping, sex, or both. But this is just a random podcast. I just want to make it up to you guys, to see how it is. Maybe I'll do a weeknight podcast if I have time. This is a Wednesday. Maybe every Wednesday I'll do a random podcast, and so people know what's up. If I ever learn something new, but I'll still do the news every day. 3 videos a day if I can. If I don't, I'll make it up for the next day. But yeah, the world is very satanic. It's crazy out there. It's Saturn worshipping, right? Cube worshipping, sun worshipping, right? And all this crazy stuff. You start to realize a lot of things out there when you learn new stuff, right? You start connecting dots. Something doesn't make sense. All right, but on that note, guys, I hope you guys enjoy what I'm talking about. This is pretty random. I don't know what to call it. Probably, I don't know. You'll figure it out. But this is a free talk right now, so I'm just getting stuff out of my mind. And if you like the show, subscribe and follow me on the social media. I don't have Instagram, Facebook. I don't believe in that. It's retarded. And as I was, this is a patriotic channel too. I'm very patriotic about where I'm from. All right, it's all about America. All right, if you haven't noticed that, but it's also a channel that expose occultic knowledge. Try my best. All right, if I'm not correct, please correct me on that. I'm not saying I know everything. I might be wrong in some issues, but I'm willing to correct myself. All right. But on that note, guys, thank you for listening, and once I get better, I know I slurred my voice a couple of times, slurred my speech, but as soon as I get comfortable on this, I'm sure my my confidence in speaking out to you guys will improve over time. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get comfortable right now to talk to the general audience on the microphone in my own shows. But thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. What do you think about this? And you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.